During the Second World War, 4-4 Squadron of the Royal Air Force, known as the Rhodesia Squadron, was among the first to fly the mighty Avro Lancaster. Night after night, its crew flew deep into the heart of Nazi-occupied Europe, targeting factories, docks and rail yards, but these missions came at a heavy cost. Over 800 men of 4-4 Squadron never returned home. This is the story of 3 of them. 3 airmen, 3 lives, 3 families left with empty chairs and folded flags. They came from different towns, or different stripes, but they all answered the same call. It was just after midnight when the engines finally gave out. James Stevens was 33 years old, a wireless operator and air gunner aboard Harpenden AE313. Born in Eastbourne, Sussex in 1908 to George and Florence Stevens, James had once lived a life defined by routine. At the age, he was educated at Willowfield School, before working as a salesman. But in 1939, that life shifted. He volunteered for the Royal Air Force. His job in the air was twofold: maintain vital radio communication and man the defensive guns when the enemy fighters closed in. On the night of the 2nd of September 1941, Stevens and his crew lifted off for Frankfurt, one of 90 aircraft sent into the night. Over the target, their Harpenden took a hit. Flak shredded the port engine, but the crew didn't panic. They turned for home on a single engine, clinging to hope. Near Dorking, the second engine failed, fuel exhausted. At just 5,000 feet, the aircraft fell into a fatal dive. Some crew members escaped. James didn't. His body was found near the wreckage at Headley Court. 6 days later, Eastbourne buried one of its own. At Ocklynge Cemetery, his family chose words that speak to grief and to faith. From all their labours, now they rest in God's eternal glory blessed. He died doing what he did best, guiding others through darkness. Andrew Greenhill Cameron was born in 1910 in Rutherglen, Lanarkshire, to Alexander and Mary Ann Cameron. A few years before war broke out, he married Mary Cowan Hall, beginning a life that would be interrupted all too soon. Andrew trained as a navigator, a role demanding precision, nerve and absolute trust. Night after night, he charted paths across Europe, past flak, past fighters, trusting papers and maps and gut instinct to bring his crew home. On the 9th of January 1943, at 17:36 hours, he took off from RAF Waddington aboard Lancaster W4277 on a gardening mission, a mine-laying operation along enemy coasts. These missions were no less dangerous than bombing raids. That night, somewhere over Danish airspace, danger found them. At around 9 p.m, their Lancaster was intercepted by Feldwebel Ernst Bader in a Dornier DO-217 night fighter. The aircraft was hit and went down in Soest Forest, Denmark. All 7 aboard were killed. Andrew and his crew were buried side by side at Aabenraa cemetery. He was 33 years old, the same age as James Stevens. A man once charted courses for others now rests in a place his maps never showed. He was just 18, too young to vote, old enough to die for his country. Richard Lattimore Trustram was born in June 1923 in Harpenden, Hertfordshire, the son of Joseph and Nora Trustram. He came of age as war engulfed Europe. Like so many others, he joined up while still a teenager, finding himself in the skies over enemy territory before most had finished school. Trustram served in the same dual role as Stevens, a wireless operator and air gunner. He kept the crew connected to base and scanned the skies for danger with cold hands on warm guns. On the 17th of April 1942, Trustram and his crew took off in Lancaster L7565 from RAF Waddington. Their mission: to strike the manned diesel engine works in Augsburg, a bold daylight raid deep into the German heartland. The operation was high risk, crews knew it, yet they flew. On the return flight, Trustram's bomber was intercepted by Hauptmann Karl-Heinz Griesert, a Luftwaffe ace flying a Messerschmitt Bf 109. The Lancaster never made it out of France. It crashed into the trees near Lambert. All 7 aboard were killed. They were laid to rest together at Beaumont-le-Roger Communal Cemetery. Richard's grave bears a line chosen by his grieving family. Here is a corner of foreign land which is forever England. Three men, 3 stories, and just 3 of more than 800 airmen of 4-4 Squadron who gave their lives in the skies over Europe. They were more than names. They were sons, husbands, brothers. They had birthdays, favourite songs, letters they never finished. And though their lives ended far from home, their memory lives on, etched in headstones, held in family stories, and carried forward by all those who chose to remember. If you found this story meaningful, please consider subscribing and sharing it. And if you have a connection to Bomber Command or 4-4 Squadron, let us know in the comments, because memory is an act of honour, lest we forget. If you like listening to the stories of the history of those who came before, then please give the video a like and subscribe to keep updated about future videos of the history of those who came before.